Hi everyone, I'm Carol Gabel, your host of Business Connections, where every week I have the privilege of introducing you to a business connector. And today I am really excited to introduce you to someone that you're really going to want to connect with. So my guest today is Cate Heaman.
Hello.
Hi, Cate.
Hi, how are you?
So nice to have you with me. I'm going
thank
to
you.
turn and we're going to forget about the cameras.
All
and
right, good.
We're just going to have a little girl talk, all right?
Nice.
Yeah, so I love your business, Prelude Solutions.
Right, the beginning of something awesome.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with this name, Prelude Solutions?
It's prelude of a book, right?
Yes.
The beginning
Yes.
of something awesome. And everything that we do is the beginning of something awesome when we go into a business. It's the very beginning of something that's going to be bigger. It's something bigger, right? So it's the beginning of something bigger. I say awesome.
Yeah, like a preview,
Right,
sneak,
yep.
Yeah,
so it's the beginning of something much bigger.
I love it. I love it. And you are awesome. I mean, I just love what you do. And I love the fact that it's a female-owned business.
Yep.
So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So before we dive in, to all the nuts and bolts of it, which I really, really like a lot, go back before you started Prelude Solutions. How did you get your start? Well, first of all, let's talk about Prelude Solutions as a telecom consulting firm.
Sure.
Right? And what Prelude Solutions does.
That's great. So we are a telecom consulting firm, exactly what you just said. So we go into organizations and we analyze all of their services, find savings, and then we also build a roadmap for tomorrow. So that's exactly what we do.
Beautiful.
And everything that we do is a contingency-based model. So it's all contingency-based, and we get in there and we, like you said, the nuts and bolts, we get in there and we identify where the erroneous charges are. We're finding 33% savings trending there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
1/3.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It is.
Especially, with telecom cost.
Yeah.
They could be really pricey,
Well,
right?
it's like so you have, your salaries, your benefits, and then your telecom costs and technology. Yep, that's exactly it's the number 3.
For the average CEO, they look at all of the charges, invoices, and they really half the time do not know what they're looking at. So the fact that you could come in there and take an inventory and go through everything and say, whoa, I can save you 33% on a contingency basis where there's no risk.
Right.
I'm really interested in risk management.
Right.
And for someone like yourself that could go into a business and make it more efficient, it's not going to cost them anything to look under the hood. And that when you leave, it's not as if you're leaving forever. You're not going to leave them stranded. So I love this whole concept.
Yep.
But what I want to do is go back a little in time. And
Sure.
What was the prelude to Prelude Solutions? Let's talk about what happened before that.
So, I had worked for a telecom company. Started off in 1998.
Wow.
Yeah, and one of my mentors was a female. She, Miriam Eisman, as a matter of fact, give her a shout out. I went to go and work for her. She was like my direct boss and superior, right? And she literally taught me everything I needed to know, along with the whole organization, right?
Right.
So, I was schlepping local and long distance and internet up and down the Eastern Corridor, right? And I did that for 7.5 years. I grew, my career grew within that organization. I started off as a telecom consultant and, worked my way up 7 ranks.
Wow.
To a manager of major markets within that organization. And that's where I started, but I had really great mentors along the way, and I'm sure you've heard it many times on your show that mentor changes, right?
Yes.
It's according to the universe gives you that mentor, and whether you have the ability to take and get mentored, right?
Right.
And really take that. As an open-minded individual, take that mentorship on or being mentored by. It's really important, and I think that's one of the things that I've always been open-minded, and I love people's opinions.
That's great, and I would venture to say that right now you're a mentor to many other women. So, and we'll get into that a little bit later.
Okay.
So it's, the other word that comes to mind is symphony. like a Prelude and.
Well, that's exactly right.
Right?
Right.
And
From a musical.
Yes. And
end of it as well. Yeah.
Yeah. When I looked at your company and I thought about what you do, if you think about a symphony, right? All of the instruments playing together, and when one horn is off,
forget about it.
It's not pretty, right?
No.
And it's the same in business.
That's right.
For example, you're able, and we'll get again into the nuts and bolts.
Right.
You walk into, a business and you are diagnosing or assessing, as like a business doctor, going in and looking at it holistically.
Right.
And you find that their phone service or their, their hosting service or everything
out of whack.
is separated.
Something's out of whack.
Right. Or they have four different locations.
Right.
This location is with one company.
Right.
The other is with another company.
Yeah.
Let's make believe it's medical systems, right?
Okay.
And now all the hospital systems have these little offices, like in little strip malls and whatnot. They're all kind of broken down and fragmented all over. So I am sure at the end of the day when the chief needs to look at a report, how's everybody doing? What you do, if it's working as a symphony, is so much easier for that COO to
and a lot of times what we do is exactly that, Carol. So some of we want to take all of their systems in all of their locations and get them into one cohesive type of system. So think of the savings of time that we've just put back into the financial department. We're doing that right now with one of our large customers. They have, let's call it 122 different carriers across, all of their offices, right? We can bring that into one aggregated carrier, one portal to look at.
One invoice.
Right. One invoice broken down by department. So they can now take that invoice that they were getting 122 different, getting it one and break it down how they want it, right? So the great news is now that you can, because there's a lot of open source type of reporting that you can use, you can really make the reporting work the way it's supposed to work, the way you want it to work as an accounts payable department. So that is invaluable. That you can't put time on something like that.
Right. No, you can't.
No, but they love it. Yeah. Oh my gosh. We have a lot of financial departments right now. They're like, you can do that? And we're like, yes, we can.
Wow.
Yeah.
And, here's the budget where you could spend it in another area that you really want to focus on. If the CEO wants higher sales and marketing numbers, they're not in a frenzy. What happens if this breaks down or that breaks down? And I have to be concerned about this. So you kind of take the pressure off of them, to do what they do best and leave the rest to you. Keeping it integrated under one umbrella, versus fragmented and everybody, doing checks and balances all over the place. So that's really incredible. Right. I want to go back to the idea of contingency. I think that is the coolest offering, you know. In addition to Prelude solutions, I think you could have said win-win. Right. You could have called your company win-win because it is. Yeah. There's no risk.
No, there isn't. And at the end of the day, we really take a look at all of their services and we find savings. It's an average of 33%. But, at the same time, we really want to say, okay, if there isn't that level of savings there, what could they be doing differently, right? How can we make them the hero within their own organization to do something better? So maybe the savings isn't as high as they want it to be, but now they can go, we have these 3 different options that we could do now, and now we're empowering them to, have other solutions in place.
Another word that comes to mind is compatibility.
Yeah.
I'm not a very tech person, but I have been to India. I know a bit about platforms and various systems, and I understand that there's compatibility issues, where the devices aren't necessarily talking to one another.
Right.
You know, so you have phones,
Right.
You have various departments, you have various locations. You know, everybody, you know, going back to the symphony,
Right.
needs to be compatible.
Cohesive.
So cohesive, right?
Cohesive,
So
yeah, that's.
can you believe 15 minutes has gone by? So
Okay.
we have to take a break. And when we come back, we could talk more
Right.
about the compatibility, the cohesiveness, all of the real benefits of what you do and what differentiates yourself from other telecom companies out there.
That's great, yeah, I would love to.
All right,
Thanks.
so you do not want to miss this. So everybody come back again and join us. We'll be right back.
More and pay even less.
Rowan College of Burlington County.
Your path to success.
They are the greatest fighting force the world has ever seen. But what does it take to strengthen our service members? What does it take to let them know that we stand behind them, wherever they are? What does it take to bridge the distance and keep them connected to family, home, and country? And what does it take to prepare them for their future when their service to the nation is complete? What does it take to strengthen our service members so they can be the greatest force for good in the world? It takes a force. Be a force behind the forces. Share a message today at force.uso.org.
I want to be a contender. I want a warm belly to sleep on.
A big house.
How do I look? Do I look good?
I want to play hard.
My nails done once a month.
I want.
I want.
I want a home.
I just want a home. I want someone to love.
Last year, more than 30,000 companion animals came to us without homes. 20,000 of them were felines. Let's make some homes together.
But we're also going to find it.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We were so engrossed with one another, and I hope you are too. It's a wonderful topic, and I love this company for many reasons. When we were last speaking, we were talking about the various benefits of this type of model, you know, and making sure that everything is more cohesive,
Right.
you know, that all under one umbrella, everybody is connecting with each other. But we talked also about the C-suite, you know, during the break. We were discussing the various, I guess, skill sets of the C-suite today. I mean,
Right.
it is, you cannot escape technology. No. There's nowhere to run.
No.
You have to be tech savvy.
Right.
So,
And that's what's happening. So the C-suite is all tech savvy. The CFO now knows as much or wants to know as much as the CIO.
right. I
Right?
mean,
And the COO and the CEO, they all, you know, are growing up in the same era, usually, right? Sort of, right? You know, in the same technology era, if you will, right?
Right.
And now they all want to make the decision. And that decision, they can all come to one trusted advisor. So it's not the CIO's, while the CIO may bring us in, the CIO is thrilled about being able to say, we have Prelude solutions here, and they're going to vet out the best opportunities for us based on our company's scorecard that we all get to do the scorecard, right? We get to make our scorecard. So he's encompassing all of them for that, and they're all involved in the process, and that's what's happening. You know, we're seeing that we are now that trusted advisor for the organization, the C-suite organization. You know, I can't tell you how many CFOs now are taking on the technology portion.
for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
people cross-pollinate in business to
and
cut
they want
dollars,
to.
right?
They want to. And every, you know, and now they're all conscientious. All the C-suite is conscientious of the money or the time, right? Or the security or whatever it may be, or the growth of the company, everyone's invested in it because they're cross-pollinating.
Absolutely.
So they're in synchronicity.
Yes, yeah, and I want to talk a little bit more now about the nuts and bolts, in that audit and in that assessment. You're peeling the onion inside of that company. You're going in there and you're really examining what are they doing?
Right.
What are they doing right? What could they be doing better?
Right.
Right? So when you go to do that and you do an audit, I am sure that you have access to so many different types of equipment, software. I think I want to talk a little bit about that. What does that look like for you when you're delivering, the end product to that client?
So we deliver our end product the same way that we deliver it to everybody. So we have back-end tools that we present to our customers, clients, that are all the same. So they have a dashboard to see, okay, here's what it looks like from a savings perspective. And then here's the breakdown of the inventory behind that. Everyone gets that same experience. We are very much into process and procedures. That it's always changing for the better, mind you, right?
Right.
But that experience, that client experience is the same. And it's interactive, so they can see the data, real live data. So that they're on OneDrive, whatever they're using, and we're able to present the findings that way. And then when we're presenting the scorecard and what their features and functionalities were important to them according to the industry and what they want to know from a, how many employees does this company service? Are they in the Gartner, upper right-hand quadrant? These are important, right? Then we're delivering that information in the same way as well. So it's a package and a proposal that they get. That it's more of an experience, really. It's not really paper. It's an experience because everything is online.
Right, and not only that, I would think it's not a one-hit wonder, right?
No.
A band has a hit song,
right,
and then you never see them again.
Right.
So as a trusted advisor, what's really great is that you're there for the long run, right? So it's an extension of their family, their business family.
Right.
They trust you to come in,
do
the assessment, but technology changes. It just changed. We were just talking in an hour, right? It just changed. There's somebody out there changing technology, right? In a nanosecond.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So you have to evolve so that you can teach your client how to evolve, right?
That's
you,
exactly
your
right.
team.
And in larger client scenarios, we will take them to one of our, what they call like a battle app, where you show them how the technology is changing right there live.
Wow.
Yep, and they'll see how fast it's changing. So we'll take them to a technology center that we have. We have them located in a couple areas throughout the United States now, where you can go to this technology center and watch the technology changes. It's a little bit scary sometimes for the client because they can see it moving right there. But it depends on to whom that they're going to be looking at. That it's either in Chicago or it could be in Savannah. Depends on where they're going to be.
That
but
is
that's
so
amazing.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and it's agnostic, right? So they're not just looking at one specific solution. They're going to be looking at how their solution fits in with the actual service.
Every business is different, having interviewed and had the privilege of being around thousands and thousands of companies, I marvel at how unique each business is, and I am sure that you go in and customize everything to fit and adapt their needs. In the symphony, everybody has to adjust their horns and tune them up. It's the same thing in a business. So let's go back again to the nuts and bolts, because the goal really of this show is to make some business connections. So who out there, right, if you think of, there's a big world out there, we're in New Jersey, but who's your ideal client?
Our ideal client is anyone that has multiple locations, okay? Typically over 100 employees, okay? On the road, some road warriors too, maybe some cell devices, but not necessary, but any one of those areas.
Movement,
right? We're going to be able to come in and identify savings, and whether we say, there are scenarios, by the way, where we say, keep your savings, because we want to upgrade your technology. That just happened in a nonprofit organization 2 weeks ago, where we said, you know what? We really want you to get off of this phone system. And we get to make decisions. I get to make the decision, right? I did not want them to lose their savings and pay us. I wanted them to truly migrate their technology, right? So I really want to talk to those people that have a couple locations that, we have to have 100 people really to make the savings work, or they're looking to change their technology. If it is under 100 people, I would say, we want to change your technology, or there's not going to be savings there. But come and see us, because we're the trusted advisor that will show you which path to go down. We just did a 50 location.
Wow.
Yeah.
50. 50.
Yeah, and it was the reason why they wanted to look at us is because they had so many different opinions, right? But it wasn't that, when I say 50 locations, it wasn't a lot of people at those locations. It was a lower number in persons, but at least they were able, they all had different systems and different services, and now they have, the savings was nice, but the real business connection for them, if you will, was that they all got connected. Right? They're all on one cohesive plan now.
That's really interesting. So there's a target audience that would want to be connected with Prelude Solutions. Once you get into the system, you have the ability to connect them all together, and even more important, to have a better connection with their clients.
That's it.
Think about that.
Well,
so
that's exactly right.
now the C-suite can look at the bottom line where they're saving money, but they could also look at top line growth because their sales force is more effective. Their
efficiency.
Marketing is easier because the systems aren't breaking down.
And marketing is a big component now of the technology as well, because it's becoming immersed into that too.
Well, look at social media.
That's what I'm talking about.
Of course.
It's part of the actual systems now. So it's important to.
I could think of a number of verticals. I often, having background in cybersecurity, I'll walk into a physician's office, and when I still see all of those files, like in the back, all the paper, and that, they still have not moved, and then when you demonstrate and you say, look, this is how simple business could be, and this is how much more efficient you could be. And then if I go to another physician and I see the laptop, I see everybody in sync, and again, the symphony comes to play, in my mind, that it's just, you mentioned experience. It's a better experience for everybody, right?
It is.
The employees, the management.
And we have such a great team. I'm not just saying that because it's my company. The consultants that we have, that just interacting with Prelude as a company it is a great experience. They really care.
That's really important.
They really do. I have some consultants finding needles in a haystack, and I'm like, still looking for that? And they're like, I sure am. They get a bee in their bonnet.
Yeah, little watchdogs, that will, they have the client's best interest at heart.
They really do. They do.
So I want our audience, to definitely connect with you. So how do they find you, Cate? Let everybody know where to get you.
Sure. It's info@preludesolutions.com, and you can go to our website, and there's certainly opportunities to contact us through that.
Thank you so much for being here. I go back to win-win. There's no risk. Give it a try. It doesn't cost you anything. You'll end up saving money, and you'll be more efficient. As a company, and grow with you. So thank you. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
And hopefully you'll come back and tell me more stories of some business connections that you made. Maybe you'll bring a client with you, and.
That's a great idea.
Right?
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah, a live testimonial.
Oh my gosh,
I'm sure you have a bunch, right?
Yeah, we do.
So go check Cate out. And thank you for checking me out every week. And I look forward to seeing you again next Friday here on Business Connections. Be well, everybody.